The morning sun rose over the mountains as Jia Kim skipped along the forest path. The 8-year-old girl wore her favorite red jacket and carried a small bucket for collecting pretty rocks. Her parents, Han and Mina, followed behind, enjoying the peaceful camping trip away from the busy city. "Don't go too far, Jia," called Han, adjusting his backpack. Jia turned and waved. "I won't, Dad." Her smile was bright as she continued ahead on the trail. The family had been camping for 2 days in the quiet forest. They had set up their tent near a small stream where the water ran clear and cold. At night, they sat around a campfire and told stories while looking at the stars. This morning, they planned to hike to a special spot Mina had found on the map. But their plans would soon change forever. Jia stopped suddenly when she saw something strange through the trees. A blue light glowed in a small clearing ahead. It looked like a rock, but rocks didn't shine like that. "Mom. Dad. Come look," she called, pointing ahead. Han quickened his pace. "Jia, wait for us." But curiosity pulled Jia forward. The glowing object was round and about the size of a car. It had strange marks on its surface that seemed to move when she looked at them. Was it a meteor? She had learned about those in school. Mina grabbed her camera. "Stay back, Jia. We don't know what that is." The object hummed quietly, the sound getting louder as Jia moved closer. The blue glow pulsed like a heartbeat. "It's so pretty," whispered Jia, reaching out her hand. "No!" shouted Han, running toward his daughter. Too late. When Jia's fingers were just inches from the surface, the object flashed bright white. A wave of energy burst outward, hitting the little girl directly. For a moment she stood frozen, her eyes wide with surprise. Then Jia fell to the ground without a sound. "Jia!" screamed Mina, rushing forward with Han. They reached their daughter's still body. Han checked for a pulse, his hands shaking. Mina kept recording with her camera, not even realizing she was doing it. She's gone," Han said, his voice breaking. "How is this possible?" The strange object continued humming, now rising, slightly off the ground. Han grabbed Jia's body and backed away with Mina. They watched in horror as panels opened on the object's surface, revealing complex machinery inside. It was not a meteor. It was not from Earth at all. 20 miles away, Park Jun-ho sat at his monitoring station at the Mountain Research Center. His coffee cup fell to the floor when the readings spiked on his screen. "Sir," he called to his supervisor, "you need to see this." Within hours, military vehicles surrounded the forest area. Scientists in protective suits examined the object, which was now identified as alien technology. Han and Mina sat in shock as officials questioned them and reviewed the video from their camera. News of the incident spread quickly, first locally, then nationally, and finally around the world. The video of a child killed by alien technology generated fear and anger everywhere. World leaders called emergency meetings. Military forces went on high alert. And then, 7 days after Jia's death, the sky changed. Massive ships appeared in orbit around Earth. They were angular and dark, with lights that matched the blue glow of the object that had killed Jia. War. First communication came through every electronic device on the planet simultaneously. "People of Earth, we are the Draken Collective. Your world has resources we require. The security probe you discovered was merely the first step in our standard exploration process. The loss of one immature human is regrettable but insignificant. Resistance is both futile and illogical. Prepare for our arrival." In homes and offices across the globe, people watched their screens in horror. But in South Korea, Han and Mina Kim watched with something else in their eyes. Rage. "They killed our daughter and called it insignificant," Han whispered. Mina took his hand. "Then they will learn what happens when you harm a human child." As darkness fell across the planet, the world's governments formed an unprecedented alliance. Operation Earth Defense began with a simple phrase that appeared on military screens worldwide. For Jia, 6 months had passed since the Draken ships appeared in Earth's skies. Their large metal bases now floated above major cities around the world. Every day, their mining ships took resources from the land and sea. The aliens looked down on humans as weak and simple creatures who could do nothing to stop them. In a secret lab deep under Seoul, Dr. Yun Park hadn't slept in 3 days. Dark circles framed his tired eyes as he studied the alien device on the table. It was a small piece of Draken technology recovered from a crashed transport ship. The government had brought it to him because he was Korea's best scientist in energy, physics. "You need rest," said his assistant, Jimin. Yun shook his head. "I'll rest when the Draken are gone from our skies." 5 years ago, Hyun had lost his young daughter to illness. When he heard about Jia Kim's death, something broke inside him. He put all his energy into understanding the alien technology. "Look at this pattern." Hyun pointed to the screen showing energy readings. "Their shields operate using a quantum field that's similar to theories we developed on Earth. But there's a weakness here." Jimin leaned closer. "The pattern shifts when exposed to this frequency." "Exactly." Hyun's eyes lit up with the first hope he had felt in months. "If we can generate this specific radiation pattern, we might be able to disrupt their shields." Across the ocean in a military base, Commander Taekwon watched soldiers train with normal weapons that did nothing against Draken armor. His hands formed tight fists as he remembered finding his niece's body after a Draken security sweep of her village. A young officer ran up to him. "Sir, we've received a transmission from Seoul. Dr. Park says he's found something." Tae's phone buzzed with an encrypted message. His eyes widened as he read it. "Get me a secure line to all defense leaders," he ordered, "and find me our best engineers." The next day, workers at Draken mining sites noticed nothing unusual. The humans seemed as submissive as always. No one noticed small devices being placed near Draken equipment during routine maintenance. No one saw the submarines moving silently through the deep oceans below their ships. In homes across the planet, people gathered around tables for dinner, speaking in whispers about their alien rulers. But in many of these homes, there was now a spark of hope in their eyes that hadn't been there before. On a Draken command ship, Captain Vor examined the latest reports. Human compliance remains at acceptable levels. Their resistance efforts are primitive and ineffective. His second-in-command nodded. They are emotional creatures. The death of a single offspring should not cause such distress, yet their productivity decreased 12% after the incident. They will adapt or perish, Vor said. Begin the next phase of resource extraction. Unknown to the Draken, teenage computer, expert Minho sat in his bedroom, creating the most complex code of his life. His friends had helped him access a Draken data transmission during a routine download. Now he was building a virus that would spread through their network. "This is for Jia," he whispered. Though he had never met the girl, her name had become a secret password among those working against the aliens. In an underwater base, Captain Sun Lee inspected the newly modified missiles on her submarine. The warheads now contained elements designed by Dr. Park that would emit the specific radiation pattern needed to disrupt Draken shields. "Will they work?" she asked the engineer beside her. The engineer nodded. "If Dr. Park's theory is correct, these will be the first weapons capable of penetrating their defenses." Sun looked at the photo of her family taped to the control panel. "Then we'll be the first to show the Draken that humans aren't as weak as they think." That night, as the Draken ships floated confidently above Earth, millions of humans went to bed knowing something that the aliens did not. The time of submission was ending. In his lab, Dr. Yun Park finally allowed himself to sleep. His last thought before closing his eyes was of the message that had now spread to resistance groups around the world. The Draken woke a sleeping giant when they killed a human child. Now Earth awakens. Diplomat Jin Park straightened his tie as he entered the tall Draken command tower. His face showed respect, but his eyes held secrets. Behind him walked 2 assistants carrying data tablets with trade agreements. They were all lies. "Remember," Jin whispered to his team, "look afraid. Look weak." The Draken guards towered over the humans, their scaled skin reflecting the blue lights of the hallway. They carried energy weapons that could turn a person to ash in seconds. Jian had seen it happen before. Inside the meeting room, Drake and Captain Vor waited with his officers. Their faces showed no emotion as the humans bowed deeply. "You are late," Vor said, his voice like stones grinding together. Jin bowed again. "My deepest apologies, honored Captain. Traffic was difficult around your mining operation in Sector 7. Vor made a sound like a hiss. "Your excuses waste my time. Show me the new resource maps." Jin nodded quickly and spread digital maps on the table. "As you requested, we have marked all major mineral deposits in the southern region. Our workers can begin extraction immediately." What Jin didn't say was that these maps were carefully altered. The richest mineral deposits were hidden. The maps would lead Drake and mining ships into areas where Earth's new defense systems waited hidden. "Your species learns obedience slowly," Vor said, examining the maps. "But you are learning." "Yes, Captain. We understand our position now." Jin lowered his eyes, playing the part of a broken man. Meanwhile, far below the ocean's surface, Captain Sun Li guided her submarine through dark waters. The Vengeance moved silently beneath a massive Draken transport ship. "Distance to target?" Sun asked quietly. 200 meters in closing, her navigator replied. "Their sensors still can't detect us at this depth." Sun touched the small photo of her family. "Prepare the first missile. Target their main engine housing." The missile was special, designed using Dr. Park's discoveries. Inside was technology that could break through Draken shields. But the Draken didn't know this. They believed their technology was far beyond what humans could understand. "For Gia," Sun whispered as her crew prepared the weapon. Across the world, similar submarines moved into position. Each captain waited for the signal that would start humanity's fight back. In his bedroom, teenager Min Ho checked his computer. Screen one last time. His virus was ready. When activated, it would spread through Draken systems, shutting down their communications and navigation. The aliens never imagined a human boy could understand their computer language. "Upload complete," Minho typed to the secret resistance network. "Virus is dormant until activation code." In mountain bases and underground bunkers, soldiers trained with weapons modified using Draken technology. Engineers had taken pieces from crashed ships and combined them with human weapons. The results were untested in real combat, but they represented hope. Commander Taekwon walked through rows of these new weapons. "How many do we have ready?" he asked his lieutenant. 5,000 units, sir. More being produced every day." Tae nodded. "And the pilots?" "Ready. They've been training in simulators based on Dr. Park's research." Back in the Draken command tower, Jin Park was finishing his meeting. He had given the aliens everything they asked for, or so they thought. "Your cooperation will be noted," Vor said as the meeting ended. "Perhaps fewer human settlements will need to be cleared for the next mining phase." Jin bowed once more. "You are most generous, Captain." As Jin left the tower, his phone vibrated with a message. "Operation Silent Arrow is green, 48 hours. In 2 days, the Draken would learn that humans had been deceiving them all along. The aliens thought they saw a defeated species. They didn't recognize the calm before the storm. That night, parents across Earth told their children the story of Jia Kim, the little girl whose death had united humanity. They spoke in whispers of the coming day when Earth would fight back. "Brave," they said. "Be ready." And in secret bases around the world, the final message spread to all resistance forces. For Gia, 2 days. The morning of humanity's strike against the Draken dawned like any other. In homes across Earth, people woke up, ate breakfast, and went to their assigned workstations. The Draken observed nothing unusual from their ships. Their sensors showed normal human activity, a critical mistake. Beneath the Pacific Ocean, Captain Sun Li sat in the command chair of her submarine. Her crew moved quietly, their faces serious but determined. 6 similar submarines were positioned around the globe, each carrying the special missiles designed to penetrate Draken shields. "All systems ready, Captain," reported her first officer. Sun took a deep breath. "Begin countdown, missile launch in 5 minutes." At exactly 9 a.m. global time, a simple message appeared on secure screens worldwide. "For Gia, execute." In his small bedroom, Min-ho pressed the enter key on his computer. His virus activated, spreading instantly through Draken networks. Alien ships, screens flickered and navigation systems began showing false information. "What is happening?" demanded Captain Vor as his command screens went dark. "Restore systems immediately." His officers rushed to fix the problem, not realizing that the attack was coming from multiple directions. Under the ocean, Sun Li gave the order. Fire missiles 1 through 4. The submarine shook slightly as the weapons launched upward. Similar launches happened from submarines around the world. The missiles rose silently through the water toward Draken ships above. On military bases, pilots climbed into fighter jets modified with Draken technology. Commander Tae Kwan led the first squadron. "Remember your training," he told his pilots over the radio. "Their shields will be down. Hit the targets we practiced." On the Draken command ship, alarms finally began to sound. "Detecting underwater launches," an officer reported. "Primitive human weapons. No threat to our shields." Captain Vor relaxed slightly. "Destroy the launch sites." But when the missiles reached their targets, something unexpected happened. Instead of exploding harmlessly against Draken shields, they passed through and struck the ships directly. Explosions ripped through the alien vessels. "Impossible!" Vor shouted as his ship shook. "How are they penetrating our shields?" The answer came seconds later when human fighter jets appeared on the horizon. They fired weapons that glowed with the same energy as Draken technology. "They have adapted our weapons," an officer said in disbelief. Dr. Hyun Park stood in his lab watching data stream across his screens. "The shield disruption is working," he told his team. "Phase 2, activate the global shield network." Around the world, hidden devices powered up, creating an energy field that matched the frequency of Draken transportation technology. When the E-Bike aliens tried to bring reinforcements from their fleet, the new arrivals appeared in empty space, unable to reach Earth's atmosphere. Commander Tae led his squadron directly toward the Draken command ship. His jet carried a special payload, a boarding team of soldiers equipped with weapons that could fight Draken up close. "Begin attack run," he ordered. "Cover our boarding team." The jets fired at the damaged sections of the command ship, creating an opening. Tae's jet flew close enough for the boarding team to jump across using special jetpacks. Captain Vor grabbed his weapon as alarms blared. "Defend the command center. Kill all humans." But the Draken were confused by the failure of their technology. Their communications were filled with the face of a human child, Jia Kim, played on a loop by Min-ho's virus. The message was clear. This attack was vengeance. The human boarding team fought their way through the ship, heading for the main control room. Commander Tae led them, his face showing no fear as he faced the aliens who had once seemed invincible. By sunset, the sky above Earth looked different. Draken ships burned or retreated. For the first time in 6 months, people looked up without seeing alien vessels. In the control room of the fallen command ship, Commander Tae stood over the body of Captain Vor. He picked up the alien communication device. "To all Draken forces," he broadcast. "Earth is no longer your mining colony. We are not weak. We are not primitive. We are humanity, and we have just begun to fight." 3 years had passed since Earth defeated the Draken invasion. The planet had changed in ways nobody could have imagined. Using the technology from captured alien ships, humans had made huge leaps forward. In a shipyard near the coast, Admiral Tae Kwan watched workers put the final touches on Earth's first faster-than-light spaceship. It was sleek and powerful, built with a mix of human design and Draken technology. "She's beautiful," said Dr. Hyun Park, standing next to Tae. The scientist looked healthier now. The dark circles under his eyes were gone. "The Hope," Tae said, reading the name on the ship's side. "The first of our deep space fleet." 5 ships stood ready in the yard. Together they would carry Earth's message to the stars. "Is the crew ready?" asked Hyun. Tae nodded. "The best pilots and soldiers we have, and our most skilled diplomat." On the main ship, Captain Sun Li checked the systems one last time. Her submarine had fired the first shots in the war. Now her spaceship would carry the first humans beyond our solar system. On her uniform, she wore a small pin with Jia Kim's face. Navigation systems all green, reported her first officer. FTL drive at full capacity. Sun looked at the star map, showing their destination, the nearest Draken colony world. Prepare for departure at 800 tomorrow. That night, world leaders gathered at the United Nations building in New York. In the center of the plaza, workers were finishing a new monument. It showed a small girl reaching toward the stars, Jia Kim, whose death had started Earth's fight for freedom. President Young stood at the podium. Tomorrow we take our place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as defenders of peace. We go to the Draken with a message, not of revenge, but of strength. The crowd cheered as the monument was unveiled. Below Jia's statue were words carved in stone. They came as conquerors. They left understanding humanity. The next morning, millions watched as the 5 ships rose into the sky. They moved past the moon, then accelerated to impossible speed, vanishing into the deep blackness of space. 3 weeks later, the ships appeared near the Draken colony. Alarms sounded throughout the alien city. The Draken had never been defeated before Earth, and they feared human revenge. On the bridge of the Hope, Sun Li opened a communication channel. This is Captain Sun Li of Earthship Hope. We wish to speak with your leaders. The Draken were surprised by the calm request. They had expected an attack. In the meeting room of the colony's main building, Admiral Tay faced the Draken Council. Behind him stood Jin Park, now Earth's chief diplomat. We have not come for revenge, Tay told the aliens. We could have. You killed our children and tried to take our world. But humans are not like you. Jin stepped forward. We bring a message from Earth. Any species that seeks peace will find friendship with humanity. Any that seeks war will find that Earth remembers Jia Kim. The Draken leaders looked at each other nervously. They had never faced a species that defeated them and then offered peace. As Earth's ships prepared to return home, something unexpected happened. A new alien vessel approached, sleek and golden, unlike any Draken design. Unknown ship approaching, reported Sun's navigator. They're hailing us. On the screen appeared a tall, elegant alien with silvery skin. Greetings, people of Earth. We are the Vesh. We have observed your victory over the Draken with great interest. For centuries, we avoided Draken space. Now we wish to know the species that accomplished what was thought impossible. 2 months. Later, the Earthships returned home with representatives from 7 different alien species. As they passed the monument to Jia Kim, a Vesh diplomat asked about its meaning. Jin Park smiled sadly. It reminds us that our greatest strength isn't our technology or weapons, but what we choose to protect. The Draken never understood that harming a human child would unite our entire world against them. The Vesh nodded. A powerful lesson. 1. The galaxy will not forget. That night, Han and Mina Kim stood alone before their daughter's monument. They placed flowers at its base and looked up at the stars, no longer distant and frightening but full of possibilities. She would have loved to see this, Mina whispered. Han took her hand. Whenever a human ship travels to the stars, she does. The end.